Welcome to Engineering Influence, a podcast for the American Council of Engineering Companies, coming to you from our 2025 Fall Conference in San Diego. And we just wrapped up our second general session of the day, really focused on the future of AI. Really what we're looking at here is the next industrial revolution and what comes next. How's our industry adapt to it? How do they answer the call? And focusing in on that, we have our keynote speaker, Mike Walsh. He is a futurist, an author. He is the CEO of Tomorrow, which is where his basis for all his futurist work on looking not just into what really the next thing coming around the curve is how the companies actually leverage that. And leverage is going to become a lot of a focus of this conversation. So, Mike, thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here.
So, this is a great presentation. It kind of ties everything together, what we're focused on these days with AI. The way you kind of really put it out in an understandable way, where we've gone from the hardware days to the software days, and now we're in that software AI next step. We're on the cusp of the next industrial revolution. You mentioned during the pandemic that really supercharged it and got it out of the gate.
Yeah,
we're set the stage. Where are we right now?
But there's a few pieces going on, and it's confusing because sometimes it just feels like this is a consumer product release.
Yes,
the way they sell us ChatGPT is the way they sell us iPhones.
Yes,
here's version 5. It's a little less snarky.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little smarter. But if you step back, there's a much more interesting dynamic going on. You mentioned before the industrial revolutions. I mean, I would say we're in a fifth industrial revolution now.
Mm-hmm.
You had steam, then electricity, computation, semiconductors, the Internet of Things. Arguably now we're on the dawn of a new industrial revolution powered by AI.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just AI. It's what AI represents, which is AI embodied in our systems, in our organizations. Really AI as digital workers who are capable of reasoning, taking action, and doing work that humans used to do. And that's kind of set against a backdrop of a fundamental change in the nature of computing. Right? Like for the last 50 years, we've had a retrieval model of computing, where we collected data. We created dashboards. We use those dashboards to make decisions about the past.
Yes.
But now we're imagining a new form of computing that's generative, that's agentic, that's actually full of AI agents who are scurrying through our systems, not using data to think about the past, but to take action for the future. So it's a like I said, it's a very different model.
It's a truly different model. And it seems like it's that goal that everybody's working towards, which is eliminating a lot of the busy work and allowing people to think more, allowing people to be a little bit more strategic in thinking. But there's still challenges. Before we started recording, we were talking about the fact that it's so siloed still that we have this broken down where you can get almost 80% of the way on one platform, but it's not going to take you 100% there. What do you think is going to happen? What's the path to actual unification of systems and having a big full cycle, AI system for companies?
It's a really great question, and there's not an easy answer to it. Most of the focus of AI today, it's been on personal productivity. Like, how do I summarize this PDF document? How do I write this email a little faster? It's kind of like an autocomplete. And that's really not going to give us any lasting source of competitive advantage. It's just going to be the way everything runs. The only way to really transform our organizations is going to be from the ground up. Like how do we, and it starts with data, like we were saying, like what are our unique sources of data? How do we make sure that we're collecting more of it from our client work, from sensors, from cameras, from vision systems? How do we build digital twins out of that? And then how do we use that to fine-tune models that at scale will give us more insight and ultimately more leverage? And you're not going to get that from just a whole disparate bunch of technology vendors sending you standard solutions.
You have to stop and actually look at, to your point during your presentation, that data is going to be the most valuable product that you actually create. It's ownership of that data and having the people in place to actually figure out strategically how to use and leverage that data. You use the chief people and digital technology officer. Moderna is a good example, right?
Yeah.
Kind of explain that a little bit for those listening and watching.
Well, yeah, Moderna's really interesting. I interviewed Tracy Franklin there, who's the head of both digital and people talent. And they're one of the first organizations to do that. The reason they did that is because they recognized that the most difficult problem to solve in the 21st century is working out what is human-shaped work, what is machine-shaped work.
Yeah.
How do you design end-to-end kind of a workflow that kind of moves the work back and forth?
Yeah.
Right? So you're not designing and measuring the workforce, you're designing and measuring the work.
Yeah.
Right. That's where the value is not derived from your business card or from your org chart or your silo.
Yeah.
It's a problem that needs to be solved for your customer at scale.
And that actually, the counterpoint to that is the example used with Klarna, which realized that they did the typical corporate math, which said, well, if we have 7,000 people, we have technology that could actually do the immediate job. If you read out the description of 7,000 people, we're going to riff 7,000 people. We're going to get rid of 7,000 people and just apply the technology. And they found out, no, because when it gets down to customer experience and actual working with the people who are the end user, it falls apart. They had to hire everybody back, right? Yeah. It's not a question of getting rid of people. It's a question of how do you use your people in a completely different way.
Absolutely. And also, one of the most difficult things for all of us joining the workforce in the future or continuing our careers is to realize that whatever job we have today, if we can define it, if we can specify it, if we can set limiters and parameters around it, we probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Because the minute you can define something, a machine can do it.
Yes.
Right? So we need to learn to be generalists. In a sense, we need to learn to be work architects.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We have to engineer our own work. Right?
Design it instead of do it. You actually have to get in that thought
process. Actually,
process.
Destroying your job is the most valuable thing you can do.
Yeah.
Rather than defending it, rather than trying to stop other people doing it, rather than making sure that you're keeping the machines away from it, actually actively undermining yourself, or at least undermining your role, is the most valuable thing any human can do.
Yeah. In your experience looking at different industries and sectors, I mean, how would you rate the engineering industry in that transformation? You anecdotally mentioned that you're trained as a lawyer. I know of many lawyers. I'm married to one. And in the legal community, the reaction to AI it's antithetical to everything they believe in. And some are adopting, but it's not there. And you have all those issues. Where are we in the mix?
Well, it's good to use lawyers because I mean that's usually like kind of the bottom baseline of any profession.
Yeah.
So you can't be worse than them. In other words. Look, I think if you step back and go, whether you're a lawyer or an accountant or a consultant or an engineer, we're all knowledge workers.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, we believed that machines were not going to take our jobs. They were going to come for the truck drivers, the people working in manufacturing, or someone stacking shelves. The horrible truth is that in many cases, it's cheaper to pay a person to stack a shelf than buy a robot to do it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get rid of somebody, you are going to get rid of the very expensive, overeducated professional with the overinflated sense of their own ego. They're the first people you want to kill.
Yeah.
And yes, traditionally it's been lawyers, but actually all expensive knowledge workers are the same.
Yeah.
But the good news is that there will still be people in this category who've figured out how to leverage tools to make themselves even more valuable. We're talking about programs. People say that program is not going to be valuable anymore. Well, some programmer just got paid $250 million to join Meta.
Exactly. Right? But at the same time, expanding on that, you use the example of the Excel Olympics over in Vegas. And I've seen those. I actually did see those. And it's amazing because it's the mastery of the tool is the value in just the work, right? It's the fact I'm the best at Excel when it's not actually, the value's not in you're the best at Excel. It's beyond that. It's the actual,
are you the best at solving the problem?
Exactly. The best at solving the problem. It's not mastering the tool. It's mastering the solution. And that's a change in the way that my generation and, we think, okay, let's apply the right tool to it. While the younger generation.
I'm sure engineering is full of tools.
Absolutely.
Very hard to use.
Yes.
And that when you've mastered them, you're almost disappointed if the tool doesn't get used.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're like, we spent all this money on this tool, but it's not being used. Yeah. You also mentioned, the value, but from a leadership perspective, it is that economics of it costs me X number of dollars to employ a knowledge worker when that work could be done by usually a token cost for AI, which is a lot less expensive. It brought to my mind the idea of how leaders in companies should start thinking about the value of the workers who they bring in and how they're positioning themselves to do the work.
Yeah. I mean, I think rather than thinking about, trying to defend old jobs, we should be thinking about human cognition as a very precious resource. Mm-hmm. Machines are great at a whole bunch of different things. And that it's hard to define that because that's changing all the time. Yeah. But the one thing that people are very good at is things that have never been done before, right? Like we are very malleable. We have neuroplasticity. Mm-hmm. We can embrace things that we've never seen before. And we can probably figure out a way of doing it. Yeah. And of all human beings, probably engineers are the best. That's why we were laughing before about engineers being very conservative. Because this is what I was saying at my keynote is the funny thing is that all the heroes that I grew up with, the people that were doing the craziest, most insane experimental things, were engineers. Yeah. Right? Like Charles Babbage, Edison, Tesla. I mean, arguably Tony Stark's an engineer, right? Yeah. So the ability to kind of walk that path between knowledge of the physical world, how things work, building stuff, and also daring to dream and to be bold and experimenting. This is going to be the new 21st century engineer. Yeah. Right? Like who are going to be able to leverage these tools to actually do things that were just simply not possible. Yeah.
We scratched the surface. So I know we're short on time. If people want to dig deeper into your work, you have a new book that you're working on.
Yeah,
right?
I'm running a new book on the digital workforce of the future. Please check out my YouTube channel. Yep. They just search under Mike Walsh. Okay. I've got a lot of my videos there.
We'll put that in the show notes. Yeah. We'll link to.
I've got a newsletter on LinkedIn. So
fantastic. All good places to find your stuff. I really appreciate the time that you spent with us. It's been great. And hopefully we can. I know we're gonna have our own retreat pretty soon talking about just AI. So this is going to spark a lot of ideas. So I'm glad. I think that everybody came out of the session very energized.
Great.
So thanks again for being with us.
My pleasure.
Appreciate
Thank you so
much. Thank you. And again, this has been Engineering Influence podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies. And we'll see you next time.